Good day, viewers. Welcome to our chat with Reinhard Kusters, who is currently busy petitioning the whole Starlink setup, hopeful setup for Namibia. Now, Starlink is a satellite internet service from Elon Musk's SpaceX. Mm-hmm. And there's been an intention to have it here in Namibia, but CRAN stopped it for various reasons. And we've got Namibians who are petitioning, arguing that this will be a very valuable service for us, especially in the rural areas, the lodges, the farmers, and so forth, where MTC and Telecom can't reach. So Reinhard is busy now. Reinhard, just briefly explain to us what are you busy with now?
Well, I think we need to start from the beginning. The application was put into the ministry earlier in the year to obtain a waiver of the 51% ownership, which is throughout all government departments mandatory. Mm-hmm. So any foreign investment that happens in Namibia is subject to 51% ownership.
Yeah.
The Act states that the respective minister can waive that ownership issue.
Make an exception.
It's called a waiver.
Yeah.
It's the so-called 51% local ownership waiver.
Okay.
And it's being done in various other government ministries where foreign investment is deemed important, but where the minister then decides not to apply the 51% ownership clause.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what happened is the 51% ownership waiver was applied for with the minister. And at the same time, the application for spectrum license was applied with CRAN, mm-hmm. because that is the correct route to follow. The minister insisted that the ownership, the 51% ownership remains mandatory. She was not prepared to waive the ownership.
Mm-hmm.
So the application was basically denied.
Yes.
It appears that now, in as far as the minister giving a decision to refuse the ownership clause, she is required by law to give a reason why she's rejected it.
Mm-hmm.
But she did not. So as far as that is concerned, she is in breach. Now, I think everybody that was involved in this, because when CRAN announced in March that the application was rejected,
yeah,
there was a lot of confusion as to, first of all, how much time was put at the disposal of the public to reply to that rejection or to motivate why the rejection should be reconsidered.
Yeah.
CRAN, as far as I'm concerned, and I may be wrong, failed to advertise the proper timelines.
Mm-hmm.
There's an argument about 30 days and there's an argument about 90 days, so we don't know exactly what is applicable here.
But I think Starlink appealed, 47 days later.
That is correct.
Yeah.
But that is because this is the way CRAN originally responded.
Yeah.
So they have not advertised the timelines correctly for the normal citizens to understand.
Mm.
I wrote a scathing open letter to both the minister and the CEO of CRAN in May, mm-hmm. about the rejection, about the ownership, etc., etc. And I raised one very important issue here, and that was the approval of the OneWeb application that was approved last year, and it was approved on the quiet. The ownership clause was waived. All of a sudden, here we have an operator that's operating in Namibia with the same technology, the so-called LEO technology, which is low Earth orbiting satellites.
Yeah.
So shortly after that, I started the petition in order to get some momentum behind this entire process and to see what the response is going to be from the Namibians as far as this reconsideration application was going to be concerned.
Ronald, if I can just interrupt, just with a parenthesis. Why? Who are you? Are you a lodge owner? Are you a farmer?
I operated 3 lodges up in the Caprivi for 15 years.
Okay.
We had continuous problems with internet access, with cell phone access. We've gone through multiple VSAT operators in the hope that we were going to find somebody that was going to provide us with, how can I say, acceptable internet service at an affordable price.
Okay.
And that was unfortunately not possible. I've since sold my lodges. I have got a small little farm, and I'm completely cut off from any internet access, from any cell phone coverage whatsoever. So I have to travel every day about 10 kilometers to go and do my calls, etc., which is extremely inconvenient.
Yeah.
Especially also from a security standpoint, and and that is the issue that I'm having. Number one, it is inconceivable for me that the government is trying to deny modern technology to Namibians. Nowadays, as far as I'm concerned, internet access is no longer a luxury.
Yeah.
It is everybody's right to have internet access. And in this entire process that we've been through, sadly enough, those people that are living, and we need to understand one thing, that the majority of Namibians still live in remote areas that do not have access to any internet.
Yeah.
So they have not even been able to weigh in on this application and on the reconsideration of this entire story. So that is basically where we are today.
Okay.
We have taken this under legal advice. So the next step forward is to, according to the legal advice, we were told that we needed to, first of all, get Starlink to apply with the High Court.
Yes.
To get the decision of the minister reviewed, and to obtain a reason as to why the minister has denied the waiver. Without the waiver, basically without the waiver, there's absolutely no way that any application can be lodged with CRAN, because CRAN cannot override the minister's decision.
Yeah.
The CRAN is part of the Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, so they report to the minister. So unless the minister approves the 51% waiver, another application cannot go forward.
Yeah.
The other issue that obviously has not been taken into consideration is that companies like MTC and Telecom Namibia can benefit from Starlink, because through Starlink, they will be able to get total coverage throughout the whole of Namibia.
Yeah.
Especially in areas where it would not make any common sense for them to build conventional tower infrastructure, because unless you have enough people living there that will pay for that service to redeem that investment, it makes no sense for MTC or for Telecom to put infrastructure in place in remote areas where there are not enough not enough client base. But Starlink can enter into an agreement with MTC and with Telecom to provide them with coverage in those areas, and they've got the technology for them to operate as cell phone operators in that area. They've entered recently an agreement with MTN in Zambia on that basis, where MTN uses the Starlink technology to get cell phone coverage in all the areas where they do not want to put in expensive infrastructure.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Reinhard. Let's just have a look at. We've got 10 African countries that are actually part of Starlink. Namibia is one of the hardest markets. CRAN maintains that Starlink failed to comply with Namibia's local ownership and control requirements. So why should Namibia make an exception for Starlink, if at all?
Well, let's ask the other question.
Yeah.
Why did it make an exception for OneWeb?
Uh-huh.
That is the big question that is standing out there. If it's making an exception for one, it should make an exception for the other. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Mm-hmm.
And that is basically, but we will know more once this comes under review and we know the reasons why the minister has denied the waiver.
So your petition is basically to find out, to force the minister's hand to find out, listen here, why did you?
We cannot do anything legally. We've taken this under legal advice. We as Namibians at this stage in time, we are not able to do anything legally. We cannot approach the High Court. This needs to be done through Starlink.
Okay.
We are in direct communication with Starlink and the people that are responsible for lodging these applications. And they are still contemplating at this stage in time on the way forward, what their next step will be. We have not been informed yet as to what their plans are. But they have stated they intend to sit down with MTC and Telecom before they are going to lodge another application or approach the High Court or whatever, to come to some kind of an agreement that will allow Telecom and MTC to possibly support the application for the waiver.
Okay. Yeah. Supporters argue that Starlink could revolutionize internet access in rural Namibia. I think even the border posts, when we look at Botswana, we look at Zambia and all these places, internet access is also limited.
Well, can I interrupt you there?
Yes.
The harsh reality is that border posts in remote areas, especially those along Botswana, the staff of the immigration officials of the Namibian immigration officers on the border posts cross the border across into Botswana to their Botswana colleagues in order to communicate with their officers in Windhoek. That is the harsh reality.
And I understand that there were concerns about security, when it comes to information security. And yet Namibians use other countries' internet services also just to transfer that information.
Well, you need to take this a bit further. Why Starlink is needed in Namibia? I mean, we know, for instance, that the agricultural sector in Namibia, the poaching has gone completely out of control. And a big part of the Namibian agricultural sector is outside any proper internet coverage. And they need Starlink in order to monitor their cattle, in order to put up cameras, in order to catch the people that are doing the poaching, etc.
Yeah.
There's no other way they're going to get it under control, because it also appears that the police are out of resources.
Yeah. Supporters, okay, so this is critics say regulatory compliance must come before convenience. How do you balance these competing priorities?
Well, I'm not 100% sure. There were 6 points that they needed to comply with. As far as I can remember, they were able to comply with 3 of the or 4 of the points. And the other 2 points, I don't know what the second one was, but the first one was the waiver by the minister.
Yeah.
So that would leave basically 1 point open that they needed to address. And I don't think that would be a huge hurdle.
Yeah.
I also strongly believe that if the minister issues the waiver, the CRAN application would be a mere formality.
Yeah.
I don't think that CRAN would then deny the approval of the license.
Yeah. Do you believe Namibia's empowerment and ownership laws are outdated in the era of global digital services, or should multinational companies simply adapt to the rules of the countries they wish to enter?
Look, I think there needs to be a balanced approach. I don't agree, for instance, that our oil and gas reserves should be in the hands of the oil majors.
Mm-hmm.
I think I strongly believe that Namibia should have a healthy stake in it,
Yeah.
and not outsell itself to foreigners. But if we, for instance, compare the ownership issues here with what in South Africa is deemed as BEE, Black Empowerment, Black Empowerment in South Africa has already demonstrated that it failed. It's a huge failure on the economic side. It's done huge damage to South Africa's economy, and they also need to rethink their situation as to how they're going to continue this.
Yeah.
And this is also one of the reasons why Starlink is being denied in South Africa. You know.
But you got to look at the benefits it can have. You know, you got to outweigh that. You know, it will benefit everybody.
I
not
believe
just
the benefits far outweigh the negatives.
The T's and C's.
Yeah.
All right. Many Namibians appear frustrated that the neighboring countries already enjoy Starlink while Namibia does not. What do you believe the country is losing with every month that Starlink remains unavailable?
I cannot give you the figures. We haven't even contemplated that. But like I said, I mean, Namibia is losing big time. If you look at the tourism sector, tourists that get bogged down where there's no coverage, crime that is specifically targeted to tourists. And we have that. It shows in the figures that the Minister of Environment has publicized just recently.
Yeah,
there's a downturn in numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not only specifically targeted because of tourism-related crimes. I believe that the visa issue is one of the major issues why tourists are declining to come to Namibia. But that's a completely different story that we can talk about at a later stage. But like I said, at the end of the day, internet access should be available to everybody. And it should be affordable, stable, and reliable internet access.
Yeah.
When we are talking about VSAT and cell phone coverage, that unfortunately is not reliable.
Yeah.
You know.
And it covers so many sectors. I mean, we've got the farming, we've got the tourism, we've got law enforcement,
schools,
yeah,
clinics,
local authorities within rural
police,
areas,
immigration. It covers a huge spectrum that is being denied that right at this moment.
Yeah. Existing telecommunications operators have invested billions in terrestrial infrastructure under Namibia's regulatory framework. Would allowing Starlink under different conditions create an uneven playing field?
No, it wouldn't. Because if you have a look at Telecom and at MTC, their primary function is to provide cell phone coverage, not internet accessibility.
Yeah.
Internet accessibility comes together with the cell phone coverage. They stand to benefit, like I said previously, they will stand to benefit if they can enter into agreement with Starlink to get coverage in those areas that they cannot afford to put up conventional infrastructure.
Instead of competing, it's complementary. You know,
I mean, it's there's a typical showcase in Zambia with MTN.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Beyond faster internet, what measurable economic benefits do you believe Starlink would bring to Namibia in sectors such as education, healthcare, agriculture, and entrepreneurship? I think we've basically touched on that.
Yeah.
Some policymakers have raised concerns about sovereignty, regulation, and national security when it comes to satellite-based internet services. Are these concerns justified, or are they being overstated?
No, they're overstated.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm sure Starlink is going to sit around the table with the regulators to come to some sort of an agreement as to what is required and what are the parameters in which they should be operating. Nothing is cast in stone unless it is negotiated and a formal agreement can be reached.
Yeah, and that can only happen once, I think, the waiver is enforced. Yeah. If Starlink were to comply fully with Namibia's ownership requirements tomorrow, do you believe there will still be legitimate reasons for regulators to hesitate, or should approval be automatic?
No, like I said, I think once the waiver is in place, then the application with CRAN is a mere formality.
Yeah. All right. Is there debate? Is this debate really about Starlink, or does it expose a broader tension between attracting foreign investment and protecting Namibia's transformation and empowerment objectives?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But then again, we got to look at it. There's I think, a compromise is to take place. You've got to look at the
Yeah, of
benefits,
course.
the advantages, all that stuff.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Finally, Reinhard, looking ahead, what would you say to both government and CRAN to persuade them that approving Starlink would ultimately serve Namibia's national interests without undermining the country's laws?
Well, I think the petition is still ongoing.
Yeah.
I think it's nearing 6,000 now.
Oh, wow.
So I think, and we're going to continue letting it run until we know exactly what route Starlink is going to follow. We don't have any deadline anymore. So now, basically, the petition is going to demonstrate what the Namibians want.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, the government cannot ignore 6,000, 10,000 people or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what petitions are there for, in order to sway the government's decision as to what needs to be done.
Yeah. Is this an online petition? Can people
Yes.
access?
Yeah.
If they've got internet access, right?
Exactly. That is exactly.
So they can't, they can't really participate in this issue if they don't have internet.
Well, this is the sad reality.
Yeah.
I mean, they cannot. A lot of the people whose support we would need on that petition,
Yeah.
they cannot participate because they don't have online access, like you rightfully said.
It's the irony
It is
of the matter.
indeed.
But where can people access this?
They can access it on the platform change.org.
Change.org, yeah.
And on Facebook under Starlink Namibia.
Mm-hmm.
The link is there.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well, Reinhard, thank you very much, and
My pleasure.
good luck, and let's see what happens.